What if I told you that one of the most influential families in the world, if not the most influential because of its history and its power in financial circles, which in turn have influenced politics and the lives of people yesterday, today, and tomorrow? What if I told you that this family openly admitted, on camera, that the pandemic we all lived through, the one I can't even pronounce out loud, but which is called C-19, was a distraction? You might say, "You're going too far, that sounds like conspiracy talk." Well, today I have video proof. Jacob Rothschild himself admitted during an interview that the pandemic was a distraction. It was a real interview, with a journalist asking questions nothing unusual, and once again, the Rothschilds let something slip.
Corona has slightly, I'm afraid, eclipsed the importance of this conversation. No one's saying Corona isn't incredibly devastating, but actually we do need to think.
Yeah, and it's a distraction, well, more than a distraction, it's a tragedy, but it does have that knock-on effect. Distractions.
So the question is, was it only a distraction, or was it also a way to prepare the world for a new era? Because let's be honest, there is a clear before and after the pandemic. We all see it, in daily life, in work culture, in finance, in remote work. In some ways, we jumped forward 10 years, whether that was intentional or not. I don't know if it was planned. I don't know if it was deliberate. But first, let's listen to what Jacob Rothschild actually says. The clip is only about 20 seconds long. After that, we'll listen to Professor Sir John Bell, a key figure in the development of the Oxford vaccine, who made a shocking statement about vaccines. As always, I encourage you to think for yourself. I'm not telling you what to believe. I'm sharing information and different sources. You're free to believe, not believe, question things, or reject them. As Buddha said, doubt everything, especially what I'm telling you. Before we start, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. It really helps support my work and increases visibility. It's important. Let's begin. In the video, the interviewer explains that she was afraid to talk about this subject, and then Jacob Rothschild says it clearly. It was a distraction, and more than that, it was a tragedy with major consequences. Some people might say, "You're jumping from one topic to another." But if you follow my channel, you know this isn't the first time we've reacted to Jacob Rothschild's statements. When he gives interviews, he often says things very openly. Recently, we reacted to a video where he read the Balfour Declaration and openly admitted that the Palestine Project existed long before 1948. In fact, historical sources show that the Rothschild family had already bought land there in the late 1800s and early 1900s, before World War I. That's not speculation, it's documented. They had long-term plans. Now look at the economic impact of the pandemic. If you follow financial markets, look at indices like the S&P 500. Compare the curves before and after the pandemic, they are completely different. So we can legitimately ask, was this also an economic reset? A way to prepare for a new system? A world where we rely less on certain types of assets or income? Maybe a restructuring of the system? It could be many things. I'm not claiming certainty. But if an ordinary person said the pandemic was a distraction, people would laugh. When someone like Rothschild says it, knowing the video will be seen, shared, analyzed, and discussed, it's not said lightly. Now let's move to the second video. Professor Sir John Bell, one of the main figures behind the Oxford vaccine, accidentally revealed something shocking. He stated that vaccines are unlikely to completely sterilize a population and may only work for 60 to 70% of people. Watch carefully.
Finally, Sir John, the question everybody's asking you, when? When will it be? When can I have one?
Yeah, so as you may have spotted, there's a wide range of views on this subject. I'm hopeful we're going to start to get a readout early in the autumn as to whether this thing works or not. A lot of this depends on the intensity of infection. So in order to get a readout, you have to have a certain number of incident cases in the control vaccine population. And that then tells you that you can look at the real vaccinated population and see whether they've been protected. So I'm hoping that's going to happen pretty smartly this autumn. But then don't forget, these vaccines are unlikely to completely sterilize a population. They're very likely to have an effect which works in a percentage, say 60 or 70%. We'll have to look quite carefully, and the regulators will have to look quite carefully to make sure that it's done what we need it to do before it gets approved. So there will be a delay between the outcome of the trial and a decision whether it can be approved as a vaccine. And of course, anything that happens...
Professor Sir John Bell.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you right off like that.
Can I just say that anything that happens to undermine the legitimacy of regulators to make independent decisions is, in my view, profoundly unhelpful.
What he actually meant by sterilize is not infertility, but the inability of the vaccine to fully stop transmission. Still, the statement is disturbing, and you can clearly see the interviewer becoming uncomfortable. At the time, governments ruled through fear. The message was, we need a vaccine immediately. But that mindset often came from people who don't understand medicine. Creating a safe and effective vaccine in just a few months is extremely difficult, even with modern science. And let's be honest, vaccines cost money. Pharmaceutical companies are not charities. If you produce millions of doses, you need to sell them. Otherwise, you lose money. So of course, fear becomes a powerful tool. In France, we saw this clearly. Emmanuel Macron openly said he wanted to piss off the unvaccinated. Non-vaccinated people were blamed, insulted, excluded. We were told we were responsible for everything. That didn't happen by accident. Fear was used. And we shouldn't forget, because who can guarantee this won't happen again? Maybe in 2027? Maybe under a different pretext? War, emergency laws, political manipulation? I'm not making conclusions. I'm not stating facts. I'm proposing questions, hypotheses, and sources. Like a pot where you choose what makes sense to you. Between Jacob Rothschild and Professor Sir John Bell, we've been given a lot to think about. Thank you.